welcome back to Walk, Run, Soar. It is day 12. This is part 1 for today, which is number 15 in the book, Looking Beyond the Haze. The verse that she shares is from John chapter 1, verses 3 through 5. This is the Message translation, so it sounds a little different. Everything was created through him. Nothing, not one thing, came into being without him. What came into existence was life, and the life was light to live by. The life light blazed out of the darkness, and the darkness couldn't put it out. So as probably mentioned when I did the preview or the intro video, she lives in Central California, and in the summer, I'm guessing it's the summer, she was mentioning how hot it gets. When she was writing this the day prior, it was 106 degrees Fahrenheit. Which is like ridiculously hot. So she talks about, getting up early to run to beat the heat. And she loves that when she does that she often gets the sunrise to look at. And I'm very much like that too. That I really, whenever I see a sunrise or a sunset, I mean, really the overwhelming feeling that I get is what a great artist God is. It's one of my favorite things, just all of the colors. And she feels that exact same way. And got her to thinking for this particular devotion, how the Bible references light and darkness many times throughout. She says, when life feels hazy and full of struggle, when the air and atmosphere around us feels heavy, when we are traveling through a dark season, God can show up in unexpected ways with his light. And like I said, she talks about how she just gets glimpses of his glory through a sunrise. She shares that light is used more than 70 times in the New Testament alone. And she goes on to give examples besides the sunrise, different times that we can see God's light in our lives. It could be from the joy of a child. Children have this ability just to always, not always, I guess, but they radiate joy even when things may be a little sad. Or hard. Encouraging words from someone at just the right moment, an encouraging gift from a friend, or just anything in nature. Really, for me, it's just I see God's presence. She shares another verse that's also from John that kind of echoes what the first verse that I shared said. John chapter 8 verse 12 says, is what Jesus is talking. He says, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Whenever I read devotions or anything that references, how God is the light and light in the darkness and darkness can't snuff it, all of that, light and darkness stuff. I always go back to Christmas Eve services, which are some of my favorite services. And I think for all growing up, and definitely at the church I attend now, they always do the candles. And at the end of the service, we all light our candles and they turn all the lights out in the church. And it's just still so bright because of all the candles. And I just love that. And I love using that as an example because even just, one candle provides a good amount of light, and then if you share that light, we share that light around the congregation, it just lights up the whole room. And I mean, that's no coincidence that's how we should be with the people around us. One friendly smile to somebody in the grocery store, one encouraging word like she said, it spreads that light, spreads the spark. You think about if we all did that, how different the world would look. So something to keep in mind is that you can be a light to somebody and share God's light that he gives us, share it with other people. Her faith step says, next time you go for a walk or a run, notice the light. What are you most drawn to about it? For me, it's the colors. Is it the sun rising or setting? How would you describe the colors in the sky today? Write out a little prayer thanking God for the light and what he revealed to you. Our inspirational quote is from Jordan Rape, professional triathlete. If you have a dream, pursue it as hard as you can. The world needs more of that. Our training note is to make sure that we hydrate properly during those hot summer days, and to definitely, if at all possible, carry some with you. And he says at least every mile, and that's actually what I do on long runs. Is every mile on my walk break, I take a sip of water or Gatorade, whatever I'm carrying, and then sometimes if the run's long enough, I end up going every half mile with my intake of hydration. So yes, that's our part one message, is to remember how God is our light and find ways to share that with others, because it can spread like wildfire if you let it. All right, so I will see you for part two.